Okay, so first of all, I wanted to try and answer a question that I get asked a lot, which is what does an interactive graphics journalist do? So it's not a new concept. The New York Times began their interactive team back in 2007 with just 3 people. And it's now a team going on 40 strong and producing stunning visuals and interactives. I guess what I'm trying to say is the complex interactives that we build are not possible just because of any one person, nor of any one team. It's really the entire newsroom as a whole that contributes to the evolution of storytelling. So I work with a graphics designer, a web developer, and we're overseen by one of the deputy digital editors. But we are tied to the online newsroom and to the entire newsroom as a whole. Okay, so what have we done so far? Again, you can just follow on, but first I'll start with the interactives package, the G 2015 package. Okay, so this consisted of a number of different interactives. We started off with the announcement of the boundaries, the changes to electoral boundaries, and had additional pages to detail every aspect of the election, right up to the live real-time results on election night. Along with a live blog that streamed the election rallies every night and had a digital team of journalists updating that constantly. We had in-depth pages covering the FAQs, the party manifestos, and an up-to-date election calendar. So first, I'll discuss the boundaries graphic. So the electoral boundaries graphic actually changed as the election progressed. At first, it was to simply show the changes with a map at the top and then some interactive and flat visuals to kind of show the changes. Then as soon as the candidates began to bring it and have their announcements, we started to add this information to the map. So this graphic turned from a standalone to a dynamic graphic. So this map at the top was created using CartoDB, which is a mapping service. And I guess it's our first example of cloud computing today. It meant all I had to do as the journalist was log into the service on any browser and update the information as and when it came in. So as an aside, we use CartoDB for a lot of the maps that I'll be showing you today. Unfortunately, its power is rather limited, so a lot of the add-ons and the value adds that you'll see wouldn't be possible if we didn't have an in-house web developer. Okay, then on to the next project, which we published on the second day of the election campaign, which is our candidates graphic. We used the very trendy layout of cards for each candidate, color-coded by their party and with filters. So the candidates kind of became the data for this graphic. Each card can open up to reveal a short write-up about the candidate, some other key information, and their latest tweet from either their account or their party's account. Later on, after the election results were announced, we added on the ability to actually filter out the losers of the election, so you can see who are the winners of who were your elected MPs, basically. So our cabinet graphic, when Prime Minister Lee announced this just recently, we used the exact same template and the exact same spreadsheet to actually show the new cabinet. So we plan to use this again when Parliament is announced in January. It's a very versatile template. I think we've even used it for wines. Okay, then the FAQs and the party manifestos pages. So we had to show this information somewhere. And we decided to go with a very simple layout. And I guess this kind of highlights the limited time that we have in the newsroom as well. So we knew our focus was on delivering the real-time results on election night. So we decided to just go with a simple HTML template. And in the end, sometimes that's just enough to show this kind of information. Okay, now for our calendar. Our calendar is another template that we've used before for the C Games. Each day when the election rallies were announced, I would update this via a Google Sheet and put in a map that was created in CloudAsia. Later on, the next day, I would go to the newspaper and I would pull out the related stories to that rally and a key image. So now it's kind of turned into this, you can scroll from the top to the bottom and get a sense of how the campaign unfolded. So it's like a record of events and not just a calendar. The next part of our package was the social media dashboard. So GE 2011 was considered the social media election, and with all the hype and scandal that played out on social media for GE 2015, we knew we had to cover this as well. So it's quite interesting when we pulled the data into this graphic, into this dynamic chart. A lot of the talk is that social media didn't actually reflect the astounding result of the PAP. But when we pulled it into this graphic, we could see that there was a clear turning point on the lunchtime rally, the Tuesday before the election. So where WP was leading all the way through on this chart, and then at that point there was a turnaround and the PAP just went far ahead all of the other parties. Eventually it kind of evened out. So what it is, it's a dynamic chart that shows the real-time visualization of social media activity. Each bubble represents a mention of a party, and it kind of drops down and filters to fill up the party's total. Then underneath this chart we had a GE 2015 trend chart, and then just some Instagram pics to show the GE 2015 images. So finally is our live results page. We had two elements to this. There was a widget, which is like a minified version of this that sat on the home page and on the GE 2015 politics page. And then we had like links to our other graphics as well, so our readers could get some context and complexity. So right up the top of this page, we had the live tweet stream from ST. Then we had a quick chart to show which total seats were won by each party, an overall vote share chart to see where each party stood, a breakdown of party results in a table, which is something ST readers are used to seeing. Then we had the four hotspots, the hot seats, that were decided by our editors on the day. Next, we visualized the results of the election onto a map. So you can either sort this by electoral weight as well, which means that each square represents a seat for that constituency. You can then do a deep dive into the data. You can compare constituencies by percentage of victory margin. So the darker constituency means the party won by a lot of votes. The lighter is the least margin. You can analyze the party's results by their vote share if you wanted to see how the other parties performed. You can go to the search bar and search for a constituency, and it brings you down to this results card. So you can either do this three ways. You can click on the map directly, search for a constituency, or you can also search for a candidate. So take PM Lee, for example. What you can do is you can actually click on his name, and this opens up our candidate's graphic to his card, and so then you can get more information if you wanted to. So all of this is powered through a Google Sheet, which both the election results page and the candidates page. So we updated this in real time, downloaded it into as a CSV, and then uploaded it into our server, which then connected to this graphic. We were thinking about connecting up the Google Sheet so that it automatically updated, but in the past we've had problems where it would drop out, so we went the safe route. And although it took maybe 30 to 45 seconds more than automatically updating, We stayed up to date throughout the night, and we had no issues. So that's it for the election package. Now on to something that I didn't actually work on myself, but my team did, is the SG budget. So the budget comes around once every year, and no matter how you try and cover it, it's a very difficult topic to understand. So my graphic designer, Rodolfo, and the web developer, Jimmy, did something a little bit different this year. So you can see up the top, you've got the overall deficit and then a bar chart to show income, revenue, and expenditure. Then there is a column graph which shows the changes over the years broken down for expenditure and revenue. This helps users do deep dives into the data. So scrolling over a category in the column chart will provide you with an option to see changes over the years in another bar chart. You can click on this and get a further breakdown. So it kind of breaks down the complexity into its parts. You can then either filter by, you can show it by whole numbers or percentages, you can compare with other years, and you can actually search the data as well if you're looking for something in particular. And then underneath this, we had various charts to kind of put this budget in context with the other budgets. Again, this was updated using Google Sheets, downloaded as a CSV and uploaded into our server. Okay, now for a topic that has been at the forefront is the haze. So we've published 2 pages on this so far, and we hope to do more even when we have time and verifiable information. So the first one I'll show you, we pulled this one together on the fly. We'd just come out of the elections and the PSI was going through the roof, and we knew we had to do something and fast. So we used various sources of information to pull this one together into one explanatory page. First up, we have the Twitter feed from NEA's account with hashtag SGHaze, which provides hourly updates of the PSI. Then we have the standard PSI map by region, which you can sort, you can show the 24-hour rolling average or the 3-hour rolling average. So we tried to explain briefly what makes up the PSI, as it's a fairly complicated process. Underneath this is the historic 24-hour rolling average PSI chart. This one is actually being scraped from the NEA website into a Google Sheet and is connected automatically to this and updated every hour. Then, this is another CartoDB map. We basically have connected a real-time data set of NASA hotspots and then overlaid wind direction information, which is updated in near real time. It's about 4 times a day. So all of this information was sourced through the World Resource Institute's Global Forest Watch Fires website, and it's automatically updated on the hour. Underneath this, then we have some explanatory graphics that were originally published in print and just give an explanation of how a peat fire is caused and how to survive the haze. The next page is our most recent one. It's as a direct result of NTUC FairPrice pulling the Asia Pulp and Paper Group products off their shelves. So Asia Pulp and Paper Group are the largest pulp and paper company in Indonesia. So what we wanted to try and do was overlay hotspots data over their supplier concessions and also other logging concessions in Indonesia to try and match up and see what was really going on there. Again, this is using CartoDB, but the layers and the timeline is added in through JavaScript. Underneath this, then we just have those 19 products that were pulled from FairPrice's shelves. A video explainer produced by ST. It's a new series, and this one features one of our digital editors, interviewing our lead journalist on the topic, Jessica Lim, just to give further context about what was going on. And then just animated some more of ST Art's illustrations to show the process of how paper and our products are produced. So how do we do it? Honestly, without the advancements in cloud technology, I think our workflow would look a lot different and probably take a lot longer to do. We use Google Docs and Google Sheets like nothing else. It really is the easiest way for us to collaborate in the newsroom, collect, verify, and edit the data and the text. We also use Trello to manage our projects and our tasks and to just have some open and transparency in between the team. For the technical side, we do use GitHub via a software called SourceTree to collaborate on the code. And then, of course, for the animations you might have seen, we use a library called d3.js. Okay, so what's next? So we know that we can't actually do this all by ourselves in the newsroom. One initiative that we're working on launching very soon is the ST Innovation Lab. So it's actually an internal workspace where we're going to be bringing people from across departments and from external sources into the newsroom to work on ideas on how to make our storytelling more engaging and to just connect us with advances in technology as well. So I'm also a co-organizer for Hackers Singapore. If you haven't heard of it, it's a community organization with chapters all around the world. It started in the US with Bert Herman from the New York Times and a few other folk. It's basically a group to bring together hacks, journalists, and hackers, developers, together and break down those boundaries. So we're going to be starting very soon in December. So every first Monday of the month, we're going to have a Micro Hack Monday, just an informal idea session over food and drinks to get the ideas flowing and connect us with developers and data scientists and people that can help us improve our storytelling. So that's it. This is my email. Feel free to contact me for any questions or anything. I would love to hear from you. Thanks.